Hey guys, we'll talk about video games and then predictions for next year in marijuana. So it's a beautiful day out here in Pennsylvania, so I thought I would do it outside today. Hopefully it's not too annoying with the clouds and stuff. So first story we have is about video games, and there's kind of always been this perfect pairing between marijuana and video games. For instance, a poll recently said that about 53% of people who play video games pair it or have used before or during marijuana while playing the video games. Also, the amount of video games that we play as not even a country, as a world, is just huge. Check out this chart here. This is in billions. So video game users from 2015 to 2021 has just slowly been ramping up, which is really surprising. Almost gotten more than 1 billion more users. They say by 2023 it's going to reach 3+ billion people. That's almost half the population of the world that play video games. That's insane. I don't know exactly what the markers here are of like how many of what constitutes an actual gamer, like how often you have to play, but still, even people who have played video games, whether it be on your phone or a gaming console, that's a huge amount of people. Anyway, the point is that's a big market, and there's finally a company that's coming out that's trying to kind of bridge that gap, or at least cater directly to that market. It's a group called Pine Park. They are headed by H3CZ, Hector Rodriguez. He's famous as H3CZ. He has a pretty big Instagram following, a pretty big Twitter following. He is going to create this marijuana company that is catered directly for video game use. So he's going to have gaming content creators kind of, be plugging it and pushing it out there. And with that, there's also kind of a nicer secondary reaction to the whole thing, which is that he claims that a lot of gamers, what they tend to use is Xanax or Adderall while gaming, and while that can help your focus or kind of like dull your outside senses, it's still a pharmaceutical and it's still something that can easily be abused. He says specifically, when you go to the doctor, it's either take big pharma this or big pharma that, and the side effects include all of these bad things. So I do think that even this as an option is already 10 times better than what doctors are prescribing at times. Yeah, we all know that, but then to be able to kind of reach those people who are stuck taking Adderall or kind of addicted to Adderall while they game, that is overall a really good thing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see other people kind of follow his footsteps of trying to get into this gaming demographic, which is astronomical. If it keeps on rising, if it's 2023, it's 3 billion people. By 2030, we could see 4 billion people. We could see half of the population of the world gaming on a regular basis. That's insane. Okay, second story is MJ BizCon happened last week in Las Vegas, one of the bigger marijuana conferences in the country, and MJ Biz's CEO had a little bit to say about the state of marijuana and where it's going to be next year. And he paints a pretty rosy picture of the whole deal. He's saying that in 2022 you're going to see a whole bunch of more mergers of these large corporations. We've seen a few, but we're going to see a lot more next year. And there's some other things that he predicted, including 4 more states legalizing marijuana. In particular, he points to some states that have potential for legalizing marijuana, which are Ohio, Missouri, South Dakota, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Maryland, and Arkansas. For medical marijuana, he sees Nebraska and Idaho getting in the game. And here's some other kind of little things that he predicts for next year. He says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration won't fully pave the way for ingestible CBD, but states will lead that trend, which is what we've been seeing for years now in the marijuana world. There will be no federal change of marijuana laws, even on banking reform. A major mature recreational market, Colorado, Washington State, or Oregon, will see flat overall sales. And there will be significant progress in social consumption regulations and the opening of cannabis lounges. If Nevada's social lounge model proves a success, expect to see other states follow its lead. So some great things could be happening next year, and we do kind of see more marijuana news happening more frequently, especially even this year. He sees the recent CBD law that was just passed in California, where you can now have CBD be in foods. He sees that as a game changer, which I think we all kind of do. We see that as a huge potential because it takes it out of its very niche market and puts it into just like the market of everything. So that's a big deal. He shows a lot of promise in 2022, and I guess one of the nice things about being in the marijuana industry is that we see, at least this decade, we see each year kind of compounding off of the year before, and more things happening state by state by state by state. Maybe on a federal level it might take a while. If 2024 things go in the Republican way, it might take even longer, but we're seeing state by state huge leaps and bounds happening over and over and over. So I don't see any of these pictures that he paints being too rosy. I think that this is kind of going to be right on point. So that's exciting news, and 2022 is going to be an awesome year for us stoners. Not that we all are. Yeah, and that's all the news today. We'll be back on Wednesday with some more stuff. See you then.